Shipping?
So actually, you just open in Portuguese, and then the Q&A take place in English directly.
All right.
Boa noite a todos, pessoal. Sejam bem-vindos a mais uma sessão comentada do 17º Fantaspoa. O Fantaspoa 2021 conta com o patrocínio da Lei Aldir Blanc 14.017 de 2020 e é um grande prazer para nós nessa noite estar contando com a presença do Martin, que estará aqui falando para nós sobre um dos filmes que eu acho mais impactantes da edição de 2021 do festival, A Risada, ou no original Le Rire, or The Laughter. So, okay, let's start with an opening question. An opening question that's a very open question.
All right.
First of all, I would like to start asking you, where did you get the first idea for the film? Where did the inspiration to make Le Rire comes from?
I'm not sure because I wrote the film in a trash part of my life. You know, when shit happens, sometimes it happens all in the same time, and one summer it happens all in the same time for me. So I was really in a bad place, and I decided to write a movie. And just to write it without asking myself if it will be well received or if people will like it. So I wanted to write about like just the meaning of life. I lost a friend when I was 21, and it brought a lot of reflection on myself and how I deal with death and what laughter means when my friends died. So I had all that in mind, and I wanted to talk about like just meaning of life, the absurdity of life, and I didn't want it to put it in a realistic way, because I think often with those things like symbol of or a little poetry or like just like meaningful moments in a movie can really help you like brought that kind of reflection to life. So yeah, I started writing in that way. I wanted also to talk about war and the survivor syndrome. I have all that in mind, and I just decided to put it in a movie. And after that, I created links between stories, and I built that like that. So it was a really dark place for me at that time. So it helps me a lot, like just to keep surviving. And I think the movie is talking about that too. So yeah.
There is one question that I had thought to perhaps even end up our Q&A with, but since you've mentioned it, I think it comes perfectly now. Your film has some very powerful imagery. At some moments, it felt like just what you said. Now I understand you the film a little better, because it seems like different vignettes that are perfectly attached together. And through these vignettes, I even dare saying that the film, even though it's very cohesive, it fluctuates through many different genres. And
Yeah.
was that in the project from the start, or how did this came up with?
Yeah, because we talked before about like David Lynch. I'm a big fan of David Lynch, and you can see in the movie there's some inspiration, particularly in the one of the first scene with the president and the other person. And but I wanted to talk about laughter, and I really like other genre of movies. And for me, I don't know how to say it, especially in English. Sorry, but for me, like this kind of movie, when you have symbols and everything, are often dark movies. Like you're going in like strange or dark places, and I wanted to use the symbolic and the poetry of the not knowing everything and put it like weird characters in another way. So yeah, and I'm a big fan of dialogue, so I didn't want to be just like a movie where you can't relate to the characters. So yeah, I do it really freely, and I was just like, I want to do that, and I want to deconstruct a little how movies in that kind are built. But I also build really organistically. I create a chart and post-its, and I relate everything. But yeah, the movie is like maybe like cut in half. You have the first part who is like a bit weirder, and you don't know what's happening, and the second part you have more dialogue and explanation, even if it's not explanation about everything. But yeah, so it's more uh, like personal, and I wanted to put everything in the movie and not censor myself. So I did it for the first time.
So, in that sense, there is one scene that there are many interesting scenes, but
Mhm,
the war scene
mhm,
is very powerful in the film.
mhm. Yeah, of course. And the weird and the sad thing is that that scene is the only scene that I didn't create. In World War II, because it's inspired by World War II, but in other wars too, like in Cambodia or in a lot of countries, a lot of wars, it happens like that. There were people like uh, that were taking off their clothes and were shot, and one bullet by victim, and after that they were buried alive and everything. So I just read a lot about those situations. I was horrified, and I was like, what's the life of a person who like experienced those kind of things. So I wanted to talk about that and talk about the irony of a person who use a lot of laughter in her life before that, and how can she still do it after that. So yeah, that was a powerful scene. That was a really hard scene to shot, but it was really yeah, it was really hard, but also like suffocating and in a good way. And I like those kind of scenes in movies.
Uh, the reason I ask it is because when in Brazil we think about Quebec, we think about a very placid and tranquil place.
Yeah.
Uh, did you had any reason to choose to have a civil war in Quebec?
The reason is I think a lot in Quebec and other like countries who didn't experience war a lot, we think that we are like outside of these kind of stories, that we that that those things cannot happen to us. And that gives us a lot of condescending regarding those things. And I think especially in those moments when right now everything is crazy, those things can still happen if we're not like aware, or if we don't watch ourselves. You never know. So I wanted to put it like, I didn't want it to put it in black and white in the 40s and like doing something realistic. I wanted to put in the mind of the audience that these characters like are like you, that happen to people like you. And for me, every war is always people killing people. So yeah, that's what I wanted to put in the movie, and relate in Quebec. Why not? And I know it shocked a lot of people in Quebec, but I'm fine with it. Are you okay with your camera? I can hear you. No, I don't hear you right now. I don't know if it's me. I think your mic is off.
Okay, now.
Right.
Perfect.
Now I hear you well.
I don't know why, but your sound was completely cut off my cell phone.
Okay. Now is it okay?
Yes, it's perfect now.
All right.
Perfect. So, yes, to keep going, your cast is superb. The cast as a whole. But your main actress, Liane, she's stunning. And in the film, like, she's a powerful force of nature, man.
Mm-hmm.
How did you cast her, and how was the whole process of both casting and preparing the actors?
Leanne was a huge surprise for that movie because she wasn't the actress we cast in the first place. We worked with another actress, and the financing of the movie was really long. So when we finally got the financing, the actress we cast first wasn't available for the shooting, so we decided to go in auditions. And Leanne wasn't even our first like choice in mind. Because in Quebec she's more a comedy actress. She's really good in comedy, and we didn't see a lot of her in drama in Quebec. So we have some comedy scenes in the movie, the monologue and at the end and everything. So we thought about her, but in the audition she was like a big surprise. She was wonderful, and she's also like she's a great person in herself. She's a great person. She's a huge actress. So the audition, we find our Valerie in the audition, and we never regretted it. And when we shot the movie, because we have to build that character, like you say, she has a huge strength and also some vulnerability, but we wanted to go in like the subtle ways, like between those two sides of her. And she was incredible. We spent an entire day like in a grave, putting soil on her, and like making her goes between mannequin and extras naked. And for an entire day she just crawled into the sand, the soil and everything, and she was always like, okay, can we do another one? She's incredible. It's
Wow.
she's wonderful. So I cannot like think of a other actress to build this character.
It's really amazing to know that, especially now that you told me that she's a comedy actor, a comedy
Mhm.
actress, because having seen the film twice, I first watched it with the original version that you sent me, and then I watched it now with Portuguese subtitles to even get deeper in the film.
Mhm.
I can't imagine you having another actor. She's like a
Yeah,
perfect fit, and
yeah.
that's very difficult, especially because you have such a strong and difficult challenge to her.
Hmm. And it was a challenge, but she dived in that challenge like a pro. And no, and I'm happy because a lot of people in Quebec now saw her in a drama, and they want to give her a drama character, and now she can do everything she wants, and she deserves everything. She's wonderful.
Oh, that's so nice. So you talked about a little bit about the situation you were when you wrote the film,
Hmm.
but I think that's one very interesting and one very peculiar thing in the film is that for me the name of the film is perfect and it fits the story in an unique way. I think
Hmm.
that's something that very few people would think when they read the title. And simultaneously, so I'd like to know, have you received any positive or negative feedback on the title?
Oh, of course. The title is laughter, and in Quebec, Leanne is known for comedy. So no, so a lot of people went to see that movie, and were thinking about like seeing a comedy, like have a good laugh and don't think much. And there's a lot of people who were a lot angry, and that's okay with me, yeah, of course, and why not, and that, see, I put the title to reflect of a book of Henri Bergson, who's a French philosopher, who wrote a book called Laughter, which is a theorization of laughter, which is really, really interesting. And I knew that people will have some confusion with the title, but for me, the movie talks a lot about what laughter means in our society now, how it can be a relief, and how it could be a lot of sacrilege for some people. And so I wanted to have a reflection on that.
You've talked about society now, and there is one review that came out in the Austin Chronicle that I think it's very interesting about the film, that says that you pose a question in the film. Is real horror the way in which ordinary people can be manipulated into doing horrific things? And I think that the way that you bring this to your film, honestly, I have no idea how many 100 films we watch every year, for not only for the festival, but we work with cinema.
Sorry, I lost you.
Okay, where did you lost me?
Sorry, I
Okay, are you listening to me right now? Hello, hello,
Hello. Hello.
hello. Can you? Is it okay? Hello.
Yes. Are you hearing me?
All right. Yeah, I hearing you, but I lost a part of your question. So if you can just
Okay. So have you listened to the citation I've mentioned?
yeah, about how you can be manipulated.
Yes. The
Yeah.
citation is the question you pose in the film is real horror the way in which ordinary people can be manipulated into doing horrific things? And I think that this, I don't know how you feel about it and how do you relate to this quote, but I think it's a great way that you have this in the film. And this is something very unique and powerful. And very few times I have seen the scene where he tries to ask her for forgiveness. It's one of the most tender scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow! Thanks a lot. My God, wow. Yeah, but I first Norma, who plays the soldier, is is the only actor with whom I worked before, and he's a wonderful actor. So I had it in mind when I built the soldier. But yeah, like you said, I'm a lot interested in like social psychology, and I don't know if you know the Milgram experiences, or like the experience of Zimbardo, where they put prisoners and guard together, people they were not supposed to, like ordinary people, and they said you're a guardian, you're a prisoner, and it just like went everywhere. And Milgram experiences also were about World War II. All people, how an entire country can do, can kill a lot of people, can kill Jews and everything. And those experience like shows you that when you have authority telling you to do something, you like just you lost the in your mind, you lost the responsibility of your actions, and you can do stuff that you will never do by yourself, like in a regular context. So and a lot of people were traumatized after those kind of conflicts, because they were like horrified by what they did So I wanted to build a character who experienced that, and also, I thought about a lot about wars, and when the war ends, all the people like go back to their homes, and maybe they will cross each other in the streets. I was like, just when I got that, I was, my God, what will happen when some things like that happen? So yeah, that crossed my mind. But that phrase you said, it yeah, it was one of the reflection I built with this movie, with the social psychology and the Milgram experience. I wanted to talk about that.
I think it's great because the way that you've just mentioned now, because not only you are crossing with these people, not only are these people meeting, but you can see, and the actor is also great in that, in the film as a whole, but especially in that scene,
Mhm.
and you can see that he really didn't want to be there. He
Mhm.
had no choice. He was doing what he was told. And perhaps, let's say, if you are in the war situation, if he didn't do that, he most likely would himself be killed. So
Yeah.
what would be better?
Yeah, exactly. In those kind of situation, like doing the right thing is the marginal way to do it. Doing the right thing, and opposite what you're seeing, what you were asked, what you are asked to do, is to be put as an outsider, and maybe to be killed or to be in prison or everything. So doing the wrong thing is the easiest thing to do, and a lot of people did that because it was the easiest thing to do, and they were like giving the responsibility to like the authority. So that's a process, and we have to undo that process.
We have some questions from the audience. Then I have
Of course.
one or two more questions. But one is asking, I love the Jen character. Did you already knew the actress and there are some influences when you wrote her lines?
Yeah, I really love the Jean characters too, and no, I knew the actress because Micheline Langto is a huge actress in Quebec. She's really well known, but I didn't know her personally. My producer knew her, and she's an actress, but also a director. She's really a people who speaks a lot. So it's she's so great. She's so intelligent, and she got the character really fast. She was not with us for a lot of days because she had scenes,
Wow.
but she was wonderful, and she got the character, like I said, really fast, and she got also really good complicity with Leanne really fast, because they didn't knew a lot each other, but like Leanne, she's really funny, and she made Michelin laugh like that. Michelin was always laughing, so their complicity was really not like hard to build, because she was changing her diapers. They was you can
They
have
were really diapers.
yeah, so you have to have a complicity to do that kind of things, and they did it wonderfully.
And it's amazing because they are both very complex characters
Hmm.
and you can see the chemistry.
Hmm.
Especially, there's no problem. We are talking spoiler free here. So if you are here, you must have watched the film. Remember that. The scene where he's in the funeral, you can see that he's way strongly bonded to
Hmm.
her than her
Hmm.
daughter.
Hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, you said it. It's wonderful, and yeah, they were great. I don't know what else to add. Like, both were great.
So we have one more. Uh, they're saying good night, and here they are asking, which are your mainly influences in cinema?
I like a lot of cinema. You know, we talked about Lynch. I'm a big fan of David Lynch, of course, but I also like more realistic movie. I'm a big fan of the Dardenne brothers, like the Belgian directors. I like, you know, Stanley Kubrick, and I'm a big fan of Woody Allen. Like, I think a lot of the like jokes in the ending monologues are a bit reference of Woody Allen style. I'm a big fan of Roy Andersson, the Swedish director. Yeah, like Songs from a Second Floor is one of the greatest movie I ever seen, and I'm a fan of like Chaplin and Bergman, and I watch a lot of. I like movie that surprise me in any ways, even if it's in laughter or like weirdness or just moving. I like movies that surprise me and and brings me in every direction.
You mentioned that, and now I'm thinking about the films that I've seen in the, let's say, 2 last years, and I don't think I connect your film more strongly to any other film than with About Endlessness.
About what?
The last Roy Andersson film,
Yeah, of course. That's a great movie.
like they are, let's say, brothers from another mother.
Oh yeah, okay. Fine. I like the comparison. I yeah, give it to me. If you every comparison with Anderson is fine.
So, on that sense, we are talking about comparisons, and you talk. I've asked off camera about Lynch. I would like to know how much does Lynch influence you, and if there is any particular part of his work that you are more of a fan.
But I like Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway, those kind of movie. I really love them. But I also like the realistic movies. What's the name? A Straight Story, I think. Like, he has a good taste in directing. He knows his language and he's really great. But yeah, and you can see for me, like the scene, like I said, with the president and her friend at the beginning. For me, it's a bit of an homage at the scene in Mulholland Drive in the restaurant at the beginning too. So, yeah. So, but I wanted also to like distance myself from that influence. I didn't want to copy Lynch or to you know. He's a huge director, but I wanted to put like my signature in that movie too, and it brings a lot of other kind of stuff, laughter and everything. Yeah.
There is one very interesting thing in what you just said, and is that I don't think it by any means that you copied Lynch. It's like, let's say that you can see that you drink a lot of his inspiration, but you create your own thing. And this, like, for me, it's the best kind of inspiration. We see that in many strong filmmakers, and I think that it's something to congratulate you a lot.
Thanks.
And in that sense, you have one more question from the audience, which is, the stand-up scene also remembered me all about my mother. Is Almodovar also an influence for you?
I really liked Almodovar. You're right. I like the complicity between characters in his films. For me, he's a master in art direction, and and that's one of the things I think what one of my deception in that movie is that I didn't take a lot of risk in. I wanted to take more risk in art direction, and Almodovar is one of those guys who takes a lot of risk in that, and he builds universe really singular. So that's one of the things I remember, but I get from Almodovar, and I want to put in my movies, and I have a lot of reflection about that, and I want to do more in the next ones.
So I think that's pretty much sums up. I would like to thank you again, not
Thank
only
you.
for being here, but mainly. Oh, we have one more. Can we do one more?
All right, no problem.
That's a very interesting one. Very, very interesting and strong one. So, have you done some research on the Freudian idea of wits and some psychoanalytical idea of laughter and joke for the film?
Wits. Sorry, I just want to sure to be
Which, yeah, let's check because I also don't know exactly what is wits. Wits with a Z, WITZ.
Wits. Okay, that's the yeah. I'm to
It
be
seems a good question.
yeah, it's a good question, and to be completely honest, I read a long time ago a book of Freud, but I didn't read a lot. I know these his theory. One of the things I put in the movie, which is in a lot of David Lynch movie, like we said, is the I don't know how to say it, the weird inquiétante étrangeté in French. I don't know how to say it in English. It's the weirdness, like when you have something who's just like a bit out of reality, and for you it's not. It's a weird inquietant, like I will find the good expression, but yeah, I didn't do research with Freudian like Freud theory, but yeah, but like I'm a big fan of psychoanalytic. I read of Lacan or a bit of Jung, but maybe those things were somewhere in my mind, but I didn't do a lot of research for that particular movie.
I think it's amazing because this question just came up and it
Yeah.
blew me because I also don't understand many of these terms. So what I think is that your film really brings out many things when people watch it.
Yeah.
There is one journalist from here that says that people should pay attention on the actress, especially in the mosquito monologue, and that your film really brings a way to face life. And I think that this is one of the reasons why it is so unique.
Oh wow, so that's a huge compliment. I'm really happy to hear that, you know. And yeah, like you said, when you do a movie like that, people will have their own explanation about a lot of symbols or a lot of things, and that's what I like, you know. I want and I really enjoy people giving me their explanation, because a lot of sometimes that's there, it fits with things I thought, but sometimes it's new things, and I'm like, wow, that's really a good explanation. I really like that, and please continue. And yeah, and I look intelligent, so yeah, why not? So, and but the word I was looking for is disturbing strangeness. It's a Freud theory that I put in the movie, and you have a lot in Lynch movies. So it's a concept.
Disturbing strangeness?
Yeah, so it's like when you have a reality and it's just a bit outside. So when you get faced, it happens a lot in dreams, you know. Like it's just weird. It's not too weird, because when it's too weird, you can relate to that. When it's just weird, it's weirder, and it's really it's more horrific. So yeah,
Got you.
Yeah.
So, Martin, thank you so much for being here. And apart from that, thank you so much for having created such a unique piece of art. I'm sure that the audience is loving the film, and it's our pleasure to have been playing here.
Thanks to you. I'm really grateful for the festival to invite me. Really, thanks a lot. And next time,
thank you,
I hope
man.
I'll be there in person. It will be great.
We'll plan that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot.